Hello guys, and how are you? And welcome to my first mini series of Football Manager 2020. We've gone across the border up to Scotland, and we're going to take over the national team. There's a couple of reasons I wanted to do this. My job is I'm a field engineer, so I drive around a lot, and I usually have TalkSport on. And I started hearing these stories about over the last week or so about players not wanting to play for Scotland, all this sort of stuff. And if you Google it, you can find there's quite a bit that's saying about players requesting not to play or pretending they're injured, that sort of stuff. And I'm not saying every player does that, but there is reports now that certain players are sort of saying they don't want to play for Scotland, or they don't want to play for this set of international breaks or stuff like that. So I thought, well, I looked at the Scotland squad and I thought, they've got some good players. How are they just doing so bad, really, in the sort of European competitions, or in world rankings? Now they should be higher up. I'm not saying they should be winning the World Cup or anything, but they should be doing a lot better than they are. They've got some very good players. So I thought, let's do a mini series, see how far we can get them. Can we get them into the Euros next year, and can we then get them into the World Cup in 2022 as well? It'd be absolutely fantastic. I mean, some of the players they've got, they've got Andrew Robinson, Ryan Fraser's there, McTominay's there, Callum McGregor, you've got McGinn as well, that sort of stuff. They've got some really good players, and they've got such a history as well. And some of the players they've got, in the history, I mean, if you go to the general, some of the players, Kenny Dalglish, Dennis Lawes there, Graham Souness, Ali McCoist, Alex McLeish, whatever you think of him as a manager, he was a good footballer. Gordon Strachan's there as well. Colin Hendry was a great defender. Joe Jordan, Gary McAllister. There's some big names there, some really big names. So, they've got a really good history, and it's just 41st they're ranked at the moment. And if you go to I think it might be under history, if we go to like records, maybe highest world ranking, the 13th in 2005, and then they dropped down all the way down to 88th only 2 years later in 2007. It's absolutely crazy that the ups and downs. I know they're not the biggest nation in the world, I know they might not have the biggest national pool, but they have a lot of players who play down in England, and they've got some really good players. It's just absolutely crazy. 40th at the moment. They're around the 40th mark at the moment, which is absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, I just think they should be doing so much better than they are. So we're going to see how we can get on with them. Like I said, hopefully we can do quite well. And yeah, it'll be really interesting. So let's see where they are at the moment. Yeah, they started off pretty okay, really. Not terrible, but not brilliant either. Lost to Russia, beat Cyprus, beat Kazakhstan, beat San Marino 4-0. Obviously got some difficult games, Belgium and Russia again, but they're not doing too bad. You look at the European competition, and they're joint with Russia up there. And I think they should be fighting Russia. They've got that good a team. They should be fighting the likes of Russia to get that automatic spot with Belgium. I think Belgium are just a bit too strong, but they shouldn't be really fighting Cyprus. And in real life, you look at it, I think they've lost the last 4 on the bounce or something like that. If I go back to the schedule, I think they lost Belgium, Russia, and then they might always they're just playing the Cyprus and Kazakhstan one or something like that. It might be some friendlies they lost or something like that. But they've not done particularly very well over the last ones, and pretty much probably aren't going to get into the Euros because of it. But you just think to yourself, they should be doing so much better overall. So this is my challenge. It's going to be a mini series. We're not going to worry about friendly matches. I only play these European games, so we've got 6 games to get into Europe. If we can get into Europe, we'll play the European games, and then it's the World Cup we're going to try and go to. We'll quickly have a look at who they've got in the squad at the moment, and then we'll see if we're going to change it around at all, and maybe look at some different people. I've done it, I think, by value. I'll do it by value at the moment. So Andrew Robinson, who's the captain, is their most expensive. Liverpool, great left back, obviously doing brilliantly for Liverpool at the moment. You got McTominay as well, who's doing great for Manchester United. Probably one of Manchester United's actually better players at the moment. They're having a bit of a torrid season so far, but he's definitely one of their better players, I would have said, at the moment. And at 22 years old, he's got a lot, a big sort of future ahead of him. Kieran Tierney came down to Arsenal from Celtic, and everyone sort of is banging on about him and that. I'm waiting to see with him myself. I think he could be a decent player, but at the moment I'm just a bit unsure. Once he's regularly playing for Arsenal, which he's only just really got into the Arsenal squad. I think he did fantastic up in Celtic, and he's a good footballer. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard pressed to try and beat Robinson, I think. Anyway, Ryan Fraser does great for Bournemouth. I think there's talks about him possibly going to Liverpool as well. John McGinn, one of my favourite players. I'm a Villa supporter, and I think he's one of my favourite players probably this season. He was last season as well. Absolutely brilliant. Brilliant breath of fresh air over the last couple of seasons, I feel, for Villa, and I think he's doing wonders in the Premiership as well. You know, there's talks of the likes of Man U and that looking at him, so I think he's really is such a strong player. You've got Stuart Armstrong as well, who's a decent midfielder, probably, you know, not going to sort of start behind the likes of McTominay and McGinn, but he's a fantastic midfielder as well. Callum McGregor, again, another good midfielder. And they're none of these are that old, you know, 26, 27, 24, 25. They're, you know, and you keep going down, you know, got a midfield right, James Forrester, not a bad player at all. You know, plays in Celtic, plays European football. Again, you can't really say he's a bad footballer. Liam Griffiths is not a bad footballer as well. Callum Patterson, sorry, I don't know much about him, to be honest, if I'm completely honest, but I doubt he's that bad. He plays for Cardiff. He's got reasonably good stats. He should be a pretty decent player. Oliver McBurney, even for Sheffield United, you know, not a bad player. Done pretty well. Came from Swansea to Swansea. Again, I'm not saying these should be beating Brazil and that sort of stuff, but these guys should be getting into the likes of the Euros, should be getting into the World Cup, or making a bloody good go of it. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. You know, there's probably some Scott McKenna as well. He's another youngster from Aberdeen who's, I know he's been touted as being a really good defender, and there's been Premiership clubs looking at him as well. You know, and I'm sure, like I said, there's probably other players here, especially you guys from Scotland will know better than I do how good some of these are. I mean, then you got some really sort of, you know, Stephen Naismith has been a staple in Scottish football for so long. Craig Gordon has been a good goalie, or has been a staple goalie for so long as well. You know, like I said, I could go on more. I mean, you look at some of the other, like Scott Brown, who he's not playing international football anymore, but you know, he is such a good goal scorer. It's absolutely crazy. Robert Snodgrass as well is there. He's 31 years old now, but he still does a good job for West Ham. He's, you know, he did alright for Villa when he played for Villa a couple of seasons ago. I really don't understand why these aren't, you know, maybe 25th, something like that in the world. They've got the players. They should be doing better. And this is what we're going to do. So this is just a quick introduction for my series that I'm starting. I'll release hopefully a couple of videos a week of it. Yeah, mini series, probably be 15 odd episodes, something like that. I really don't understand why Scotland are doing so bad. They should be doing so much better. You could say it's the manager and that sort of stuff, but I don't think it is. You look at the under-21s as well. I mean, they've got one or two decent sort of people in the under-21s and under-19s coming through. They should be doing better. They really should be doing better overall. Their performance, and that's my performance. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't see how they've done in the past, but yeah, they should be doing better. They should be doing so much better overall. So let me know what you think, what sort of formation you think we should play, how you know, what you think, how well Scotland should be doing. If you're Scottish and that, let me know about some players. I'm not completely keyed up, but where do you think your team is going wrong? Where is your national team going wrong? I'd really like to know what you guys think, so let me know, and yeah, hopefully we'll get the first episode out, or the first game out very, very soon. As always, it's a pleasure. I will see you very, very soon. Bye for now.